Okay, layout. I'm in the level 5, and again, WA is shortcut for walls, and search for the partition types. Now, we're going to start doing this one with the one-sided partition, 2 gypsum boards in one side and metal studs with no gypsum board in the other side. So let's do that. Now, let's press here. There's a couple settings. We're going to use a -1 offset in the top, and we're going to use a finished face exterior. This is like the tricky thing in the beginning, and then it's quite more straightforward. Okay, so again, I'm seeing this like that. If you press TL, you see it like that. TL again, and if you go to Fine, you can see the entire beams. If you're seeing all these beams in a light gray, that means that you have your overlay. Let me cancel that. Underlay, sorry, is level 4. We don't want to see underlays in the architectural plans. Okay, it has to be clean and smooth. Only the grid lines are allowed to step in. Okay, so we're going to see this very clean. I'm going to say WA. I'm going to select the one-sided. So it says -1 inch offset and finished face exterior. Now, as you start from this corner, let's do a rectangle. Escape. As you go, you see how I'm doing a rectangle and the gypsum board is inside. You similarly as how you place doors, that you can shift or flip the door, you can press spacebar and flips also the orientation of the partition. What I did here is basically snap to this point and to that point. Now, something that I wasn't very careful about, let's do it again, WA -1 rectangle, is that also the top constraints and the bottom constraints are accurately developed. Normally it's okay because it starts from level 5, whatever you are, you might be in level 3, and it selects the next level automatically, so we're lucky. But it could say here you know, unconnected or whatever, so you really want to make sure that this partition wall is properly done. Let's go to the 3D tab to select the facade, hide element, and let's see what we actually did. There it is. This is what we did. Now, automatically goes from level 5 to level 6. What I recommend is that you do all your partitions entirely in the floor number 5 or 3, whatever you are, and then you select them and you do what? Attach top of partitions to the bottom of the roof, sorry, of the floor, no? Now, I wouldn't do that step by step. That's ridiculous when you can do it all at the same time. Or as you do your partitions, you can make an offset down of whatever floor dimensions you have, okay? So that's the beginning point. Now, there's a couple things you can do. I like to, you see I'm moving a grid, so that's going to take like a year or two. I'm going to Control-C that because something moved. Now, you can select those things and to select the walls here, and you can copy between grids, for example, and copy again in multiple. You can go from the center of the grid if you trust your eye, and place it in a couple places. Okay, so you can go. That was weird. Okay, cool. So we have these walls. I'm selecting these 3, for example, CO as in copy. I'm going to go from grid to grid. I'm not copying the other one because, you know, I really don't need this one. Is in the facade, and I can do it as well here. I could have selected that one, copy from grid to grid. Now, there's several ways you can extend very easily. It's just like you press extend here and select first and then second extends, and then you can select several of them. You can also select the partition and grab this guy until it hits the core line or the center line, so that also understands the floor, sorry, the wall, and it adapts to it. Tab CO. Now again, this is a little bit, you see how the metal studs are secure in a nice distance of an inch here from the metal, so we're actually breathing carefully that column, which is fine. I'm going to leave it like that for now. I'm going to start doing other partitions. Now, for these partitions that separate the corridor from the different classes or classrooms, we're going to use the 2 hours. Whatever has a structure inside, obviously, and is enclosed 360 degrees, that should be one-sided, because we cannot place, for example, that one in theory. And whatever's being a partition between different classes, that would be a 1 hour. We don't have to rate that. Whatever is next to the stairs or around the stairs is going to be shaft. Okay, so let's do WA and do 6/8 for the corridor. And to be honest, you know, there's a little bit of moving freely here. You can start drawing your lines. There's a distance here of 3/6 that we need to solve, so I'm going to do a line. And I'm going to say 3/6, for example. And here the align tool, AL, is very good because you can select one line and the other one, it comes right there. Now be careful with moving the floors like I'm doing. Now what I would do is one bay, for example. I would probably move this one, align to this side, this other side. I will probably move this freely for now, and then it will be under control, and then I will drag this one inside until it meets the core. It will connect. That doesn't mean that they're different. So this partition type is going to be 6/8 for 2 hours, and this is going to be one-sided, okay? And then I'm going to do another WA wall partition, and I'm going to select the 5.5. I'm going to draw it here in the axis. Now you see, depending on obviously how you have your location line, is going to be in one side or another. So I'm going to do it again, wall center line. Now you can start stretching by selecting this piece first, where you want to go, then what do you want to extend. Okay, so you can do it with this option. You can do multiple or one, and with the other option you can do just one. I'm going to select with the control these guys. Oops. CO from the grid line to grid line. CO from the grid line to grid line. See, you probably want to step back, core, makes a join, and you probably want to extend multiple to this place, these two, no? Now, you probably want to, if you know these details, you can do a line. I'm not giving you this dimension, but you know, you can just set it to 4 inches, 4 feet, for example, and then align this guy. Sometimes you can even just delete one of the sides. Oh, I should get rid of the floors, huh? If this happens, be careful, huh? I'm moving the floor accidentally. I'm selecting it. You can delete one of these and select one and mirror it, selecting the axis, and it goes to the other side. TR for trimming. And here, this detail, depending on how you like it, you can leave it like that, or actually you can do it just an AL snap to here, and that it's clean here and it's dirty there, so you have that little step on in one of the sides, no? At this point, you can always select several components by pressing Control, CO from grid to grid. Now there's double, of course, we don't want that. Check none, walls, okay, CO from grid to grid. To grid. Okay. Filter out. walls CO. It's gonna double there, which we don't want. There you go. You want to extend those. Okay, so this wall is the one that is 2 hours rating. Here we're going to place a door, and now this bay could be smaller again, so you can do DR stands for door, and we only have these numbers uploaded, so I'm going to say load family, and you have doors. I'm going to use the double door because the classes are very big and they probably need a big evacuation dimension. I know there's an uneven one, which is good, and I'm going to select one of its options here, like 54. You can press spacebar. Now the good thing about this, you should place the door and create a couple working lines here to always have the same dimension. I'm going to use 1 feet here. AL for alignment. Oops. First, second. So now I can, and again, I'm moving the floor. Now, not because you see this in white, I'm moving the floor, so be careful with that. I'm only selecting from outside or pressing Control. CO. That was incorrect. Move. Okay, so this is obviously a very dummy layout. I recommend that, for example, you delete one. You can, for example, get rid of one of the doors, delete one, another one, another one, and then you can do a trimming between these two. Get rid of those. Place it here to a nice dimension, like over here. Snap there. You can right click on one of the partitions and say create the type, finish face exterior. Oops. I can place it here. Trim, and you say trim, no? So that could be a double, for example, type of configuration. We need this space because when you open the door, you really need a space so you don't hit people as they're evacuating. You could do, for example, a mirror from this and create the other side, or you can start placing extra different type of partitions like WA. I would probably start again with this. The configuration here I think is the best one to start with. CO. Place it in the column, and from that point, from this configuration, I will start my shaft walls here. So WA, you can place your shaft walls. You can go from core center line. Sometimes with Revit you can just place it quite randomly, and you can say align and start snapping things. You don't need to make everything exact. Sometimes this space is what's, you can either double the, you can just leave it, and this is something you don't see, the opening, no? But you really want to cover, for example, we don't want to cover that necessarily. We probably can just stop there and extend this one all the way with another shaft wall, no? So shaft, and you go around and around, and then you start aligning. You have to be careful that the alignment of the different partitions is perfectly established, so the corridor doesn't have partitions coming in and out, and is carefully designed. Okay. So for the next video, I'm going to concentrate a little bit on the partitions around the stair. I'm going to do it very rough, then I'm going to do the stair itself, and then I'm going to move the partitions and the shaft simultaneously. Okay.